Bonjour mes petits papillons, and welcome back to Reverse. Now, as for the voice actors, I'll be playing the narrator, Plagg, and Tom.
Hi, I'm Lacey, and I'll be voicing Marinette /Ladybug /Lady Noir.
Hello, I'm January, and I'll be voicing Adrien /Chat Noir /Mr. Bug.
We want to thank you all for the support, and just so you know, there is one more chapter after this one, so it's almost done, guys. We love you all so much, and thank you so much for listening, or watching, whatever you're doing. But now, on with the show. Part 19. Marinette closed the door behind her and sat against her bed. Plagg flew out from her shirt and sat there waiting and watching, but she just kept staring at the wall. Marinette, are you okay? You've been staring at that wall for one too many hours. Plagg asked.
I don't know, Plagg. I just feel weird.
Marinette responded, her voice sounding off. Plagg scrunched his eyes. I'm not following.
Plagg, I've never felt this.
She found out her fingers, trying to escape her feelings.
Not until now.
What? Plagg still didn't understand.
This feeling like I can't do anything but...
But what? Plagg interrupted.
But obey.
Marinette finished her sentence. She couldn't help but think about her and her father and the relationship they have. She always follows his instructions and orders. She followed everything to the T and pleased him, but not herself. She wanted to be happy too. Her phone buzzed 100 times. She picked it up to notice Adrien had messaged her. This was her sign and a sign of hope. She turned off her phone and started walking toward the door. Marinette, what are you doing? Plagg asked.
I'm going to talk to my father.
She explained as she stopped by the door. I don't think he'll like that, Plagg said.
I don't care if he'd like it or not. I need to know why.
Marinette stated. What? Plagg quickly said as she opened the door, walked out, and closed it. Marinette! Marinette walked down the stairs with a lot of anger in each step. She didn't hesitate to open the door to his office.
Father, I need to talk to you,
she said loud and proud. Tom looked away from his computer and looked at Marinette. Marinette, didn't I tell you to go to your room? He said sternly. Marinette didn't know how to respond. She looked at his hand and noticed he was wearing a ring. She then looked at his tie. There was something there that was small but visible. It was a brooch. Something clicked inside of her head. It would explain why he was always working and explain the comedically timed Akumas. She followed his command with,
Yes, Father.
And went to her room.
My father, he's...
She whispered on her way back to her room. She finally understood why her father said no to doing stuff with her and instead worked 24/7. All this time, all she wanted was to have a father, but her father wanted power. She couldn't believe it.
How could my father do this?
She opened the door and shouted,
Plagg, claws out!
She had been transformed into Lady Noir and stomped on the stairs back to the office door. She swung the door open and shouted,
Father, how could you?
Tom was shocked to see Lady Noir. Lady? He paused and realized that she called him father. She looked like the splitting image of his daughter, but with Lady Noir costume and a long braid. Marinette, my own daughter? He thought. Marinette? He shouted back in shock.
Yeah, it's me, Shadow Moth.
She started loudly, walking closer, and acknowledged that her father was Shadow Moth. Nuru, Dusu, unify! Tom transformed into Shadow Moth, which equaled the playing field. He continued, I was doing it for us, Marinette.
Us? You terrorized the city for us?
She was shocked at the answer he gave. Shadow Moth calmed down a little bit. Marinette, you don't understand.
Understand? Understand, then make me understand, Father.
Marinette shouted and lunged forward with her cataclysm. Shadow Moth opened the floor to the basement before she could run at him. He turned around to find Marinette with her cataclysm. Marinette! He grabbed his staff and hits her in the stomach so hard she falls through the hole in the floor. Surprisingly, Mr. Bug was nearby and rushed to find Marinette. Mr. Bug found a window and climbed down into her basement. He watched the aftermath of Lady Noir's fall. He rushed over to help her out and dragged her over to the other side of the bridge. Lady Noir's cataclysm extinguished as she woke up. Give me your Miraculous, Marinette! Shadow Moth shouted from inside of the elevator. Mr. Bug stepped aside and hid from Shadow Moth. Lady Noir got up using her stick and locked eyes with Shadow Moth.
Never!
Shadowmoth walked forward psychotically. Marinette, you don't understand. I'm trying to bring back your mother. Lady Noire stood her ground.
My mother is dead.
Shadowmoth had already made it to the other side of the bridge. No, was the only thing he said. He passed her up and walked to the rectangular object in the middle of the man-made island. He opened the first layer to the coffin where Sabine rested. Lady Noire's eyes widened as she falls to the floor.
No, that's not real.
Oh, it's real, all right, Marinette. This is what all of this was for. To bring back your mother. My lovely wife, Shadowmoth said while turning towards her. All of this was for her mom, who was long gone whether or not she's actually alive. What she knew was true was that he didn't deserve his Miraculous.
Give me your Miraculous!
She shouted. No, never. I won't stop until your mother is back, and you'd be perfect to help me do that, he said as he let out an Akuma.
No!
Mr. Bug shouted as he jumped out from behind the bush and used his yo-yo to purify the Akuma. You, he stated as he gave him a spiteful look and released an amok that instantly went into the ring. He created a senti-monster that was a tiny bug that ate anything and multiplied by the second.
No!
Lady Noire shouted, realizing what had just happened.
Marinette, it's okay. We can easily destroy the ring.
Mr. Bug comforted her.
No, you don't understand. If you destroy the ring, you kill me.
She cried as the tears fell.
What do you mean, Marinette?
He asked worriedly.
Adrien, I'm a senti-monster.
She said. She just blurted it out. Mr. Bug was in complete shock, but thought for a moment to try and save her.
I think there's a way we can save you.
Lady Noire was confused as Shadowmoth scared them into a corner.
What? How? We're cornered.
Well, no, not exactly. This is just some alternate reality caused by an Akuma. If we can find that card...
Mr. Bug stated. Lady Noire realized what he was saying and nodded.
We can save everyone.
Mr. Bug. In agreement.
Oh god, that chapter verse was something. This is another sincere apology for quote-unquote making you guys listen / read this monstrosity. I swear each chapter becomes increasingly worse. As you can tell, this story really lacks plot and development, which is why we don't really like the story as much as our other ones. If you know, we made the story during the pandemic over the span of literally 15 days. Like, we thought it was the best story ever, but it really isn't. It's bad and very, very crunchy. You can tell how we really had no idea how we were going to end this series, and we kind of just started writing the weirdest things. Like, that's why we added this whole thing that Marinette is a senti-monster, just so we had something to end it with. It was also around the time when everyone thought that Adrien was a senti-monster because of the whole ring thing and how he always obeyed his father, so we thought that we'd put that into our story even though it had literally no plot relevance at all. So enjoy the last part of Reverse that will be coming out soon. And if you agree with us that Reverse kinda sucks, please go check out our other series, our fan favorite, The Broken Mirror, and our newest edition, Revelations of the Scarf. Please, I swear we are better than this wild monstrosity we call our middle child.